Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us here tonight as we play a little game called Daggerheart. Well, it's not a game per se, like it's a system that is world agnostic, so you got to provide your own world. So it's kind of like when you make a soup and they give you the the noodles and the chili, you got to add the water, but that's what we're doing tonight. So we will be playing this system Daggerheart by Darrington Press. And we have a very special guest here tonight who happens to have worked on that system. So, theoretically, we should get all the rules correct, right? The game is in beta testing and the rules change all the time and we don't have that much experience with it. So please bear with us as we go through this and, kind of try to poke our way through and figure out how this all works. That being said, no man is an island, and I certainly am not, and I would not be able to do this, or I could, but it would be boring as all get out if I didn't have amazing people right here with me around my table playing this game. And so I would like to give them a chance to introduce themselves to you here before we dive into this thing. And I will start with the one, the only, the inimitable Mr. Northwolf 911. What's up, North? Hello.
Oh, that's me.
Hello.
My name is Northwolf 911. I am also one of, now I could say this, I am one of the producers of Twisted Fates, and I am playing a ribbit tonight, which I'm very excited to do, and his name is ENRIQUE, and I will leave the rest for later. But we're going to go ahead and popcorn it over to the other half of Twisted Fates, Calamity.
Hello, I'm Calamity. My pronouns are she, they. I am a creator of all kinds in the tabletop space, and tonight I am playing FANTINE, who is a Clank Ranger. I'm excited. Let's go with Ian next.
Pass.
Oh,
That's not how it works, Ian. Get with the program.
cool.
Sorry. Hey, everybody. You guys know me. I'm here all the time. I'm Ian, or YaBoiBig on all social media. I am playing Broderick, the Thungril Bard, and nothing too crazy about him other than him and his knife. That's what it is.
That's all the crazy we need.
All right. And that's all we need.
That is all we need.
And then, of course, popcorning it over to our illustrious guest,
Mr. Mike Underwood. What's
I'm
up,
illustrious.
Mike? Yeah, illustrious.
I think this may be the first time I've been illustrious on an actual play. That's wonderful.
You see, you come here and you become illustrious. I mean,
That's pretty great so far.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Mike Underwood. I'm an author, podcaster, an actual play producer, and game designer. I use they and he pronouns, and as mentioned, I'm one of the designers on Daggerheart on a contract basis, and it's been very fun to develop the game, and I'm excited to share it with all of you all here as it's in open playtest.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And if you are curious to see Mike's work in all its glory, you can yourself head on over to either Daggerheart, Darrington Press, which will redirect you over to Demiplane, where you can get access to these rules and get your own game going and play your own game. And check it out, because, if you're like a fan of heroic fantasy and you're tired of the same old, this has a really interesting spin on a lot of these, the tropes of the heroic fantasy genre, as you'll see tonight. And so definitely worth checking out. And someone is saying in chat, Turbo Tango is saying that the game materials are also available on Drive-Thru RPG. So, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Can't escape it. It's coming for you. Everywhere. It is now 7 years since the war against the Silent Dominion, and all through the land rings laughter and music and song. But it was nearly not thus. The Silent Dominion, in their attempts to cull all such beauteous sounds from the world, to crush and break and reduce all song and music and magic to nothing more than empty silence, a vacuum void of all cadence and rhythm, a vacuous and vapid nothingness of pallor and lifelessness, nearly robbed the world the most precious gifts that are music and magic. But heroes prevailed. though at a heavy cost. The Clank Seraph Nimbus, who gave their lives so that their friends might live, was one such cost. Now their friends, Ruby, Enrique, and Broderick, have buried their arms and taken up quieter pursuits, leaving the world of adventuring behind. And every year since then, at Lugnut's trading post, a small village in the shadow of the Sentinel Mountains, near the Soulrite where Nimbus was born and eventually returned to their people, the Triad gathers to swap stories and remember their fallen friend who sacrificed themselves so that light and music might yet be seen and heard throughout the land. And it is at Lugnut's trading post that we begin our tale, just outside its borders, as a young Clank approaches. A young Clank on her first foray beyond the bounds of Cogwheel Town. And tell us, Calamity, as FANTINE approaches this trading post, what would someone see? Were they to look out and watch her approach?
If someone were to look out, they would see a Clank standing at about 5'4", with this long, molded red, like kind of like rusty red ponytail, wearing clothes much befitting an archer. They have archer written all over them, including the huge giant bow on their back, also made of kind of metal and wood, all amalgamated together. They have these bright blue eyes that shine out from this sort of tin metal body that or their tin metal face, very feminine sort of carved figures. And they are kind of like looking around, just kind of making sure they're in the right place. So they look a bit, not hesitant, but a bit cautious, I think, as they approach.
The trading post is very small. It's mostly a tavern, a few trading shops, stables, so on and so forth. It's more of a waypoint than it is a real village. But there's still a few houses. You can see, as it is early fall, you can see a little bit of smoke curling from some of the chimneys. You see a few people out in the fields working. A number of people going through the village still. Some people stopping at the inn, so on and so forth. There's a lot of movement this time of year as people are, trying to get to places before the winter sort of settles in. You recognize the trading post itself, the inn of the trading post, fairly easily enough. It is a very distinctive building, and it sits right in the middle of the thoroughfare. And as you approach it, you hear coming from inside, coming from the other side of the door, some music, some laughter, people talking. And now it's not super boisterous. It's not like, a grand old party going on. The music is quiet and a little bit melancholy, perhaps, but still you can hear laughter here and there, and a fair number of people hanging around. And there's a good mix of people here of different ancestries and whatnot. So you, and even a few Clanks. So you don't really feel like you stand out too much. But as you approach the inn itself and open the door, you step in and you find yourself in a very rustic, very warm room, groups of people everywhere, sharing drinks, sharing laughter, sharing stories. Behind the counter is Lugnut himself. He is a goblin. He has a very nice twirly white mustache, a pipe permanently stuck on the corner of his mouth, and he's busy cleaning some glasses and serving up some people. What would you like to do?
I think that before they step in, they'll sort of adjust, make sure that everything looks good, adjust their belts, sort of adjust their bracers, adjust the cloth that they kind of have as like a top across their chest, and just sort of make sure they look as good as they can. This is their first kind of adventure into, outside of where they usually are in Cogwheel. So they step in and are immediately just enthralled by the view around them. And they have to try really hard not to kind of sit and enjoy what's kind of going on. They want to do that more than anything, but they go straight up to the bar, and I imagine that Lugnut himself looks pretty distinct. So I think she'll walk up to them and say, "Hello, I am here seeking for
A good time. You've come to the right place, young lady. Grab yourself a little stool right there. We'll set you right. What would you like? A nice glass of warm milk?"
No, thank you. Not a fan of milk too much. Let me try that again. And we'll sort of pull up the stool and sit and adjust themselves.
You look like you've come a long way.
I have. And I'm actually here on quite important business. I'm looking for some specific people.
Do tell. We've got a lot of those around here. Do you mean specific in a broad sense, like any one specific person amongst a group of many will do, or are you looking for more specific individuals? Could you give me a little bit more to go on?
Yes, I don't know if who I'm looking for will exactly be here, but we need help. Someone who can help us. I don't want to cause, and sort of like looks around at everyone and kind of the merriment around them, nervously, not wanting to cause a big fuss. I sort of wanted to see if maybe you knew of these particular people.
Oh, so you mean like rough and tumble types, or?
Well, they are heroes I've heard much about. I've heard that they come around here to meet, and I'm hoping that I am not too late to catch them.
I believe, young missy, I know exactly the people you are referring to. Now, before I go so far as to point them out to you, would you be willing to assure me that you mean them no harm?
I mean them no harm. I hold them at the highest respect. They have done so much for my town. Before I was even there, I would not be there if it weren't for them.
Yes.
I'm Fantine. By the way.
Oh, hi, Fantine. I'm Lugnut, but you might have deduced that yourself when you came in, seeing as how this is Lugnut's place, and I'm standing here behind the bar. You seem like a pretty sharp kind of young lady, so I'm assuming that you worked that out yourself. But tell you what would you like to drink? On the house. You tell me that, I'll serve you, and then I'll tell you where these people are.
Oh, I don't really know. What do you have? What do you suggest, I suppose?
Well, are you looking for something that's going to put some hair on your chest, or would you like something a little bit more smooth?
Oh, I have quite the day ahead of me. I would like something that's not going to be too altering.
Then I suggest a nice little mug of chamomile tea. It'll warm you up. Very well. He goes over and he gets this little teapot, and he comes back with a very dainty little teacup, and he puts it down, pours some water in. It's been steeping for a while, so it should be quite nice and tasteful. Now, would you like some honey in here?
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Very good. Good choice.
I have to pay you for this, please.
No,
I set aside some of my allowance.
I insist. You've come a long way, and he drops a little bit of honey in it. You've come a long way, and I do hope you will not be leaving here empty-handed. But if you do, you should at least have a nice warm cup of tea with some honey in it to warm you on your way. Then he'll hand you the... As for the people you are looking for, he points over to where the fireplace is. When you turn to look, the first thing that catches your eye is not the table of people that is sitting near the fire, who are obviously friends and obviously in the midst of telling stories to each other, but the first thing that really kind of catches your eye is over the fireplace. Someone has painted on a wooden board what appears to be a shield. This shield that you notice has a strange symbol painted upon it, a set of fiery angel wings and what appears to be a tuning fork. You know this to have been both Nimbus's personal emblem, but also the one that came to be associated with the group of heroes Nimbus traveled with during the war. The words light and music are etched on the plaque beneath it, and the care and respect that went into the work is very evident and speaks to the high degree of respect the people here have for the sacrifices made by these heroes during the war. And as your gaze moves away from this shield and onto the table of friends, you see 3 people sitting together. Who would like to go first? Who do you think at this particular moment is talking? I will nominate someone. I'm a teacher. I'm used to this. That's right. You're on, Broderick.
I think somebody else was going. I would like to have. I could go. I'm going. Here we go. So when FANTINE looks from the shield and their gaze goes down to where the friends are sitting, at the table, more so on top of the table, you see a very small, about 2.5, depending on which bodega he lives out of, foot being, kind of kin to the mushroom folk, but he's adorned in this very bright, mossy green array. He has what feels like a lily pad-esque type hat on, and he's waving around a little dagger, and he's in the middle of a story. Standing on top of the table, probably had one too many, and there's our buddy Broderick, and he's like, I mean, I tell you, this what happened, right? So I listen, I don't really do much of the fighting like you guys do, but I had him right there, and I was just like, listen, I don't understand why you don't just give me the money. And then for some reason, like, I was arrested. Somebody said that I was robbing somebody, but really, honestly, I just wanted the money for the show. They all liked it. Yeah, I don't know. Nimbus told me really not to wave this thing around, but it's so dramatic. And he's just waving his arm around, and everyone around is kind of just backing up for it. But anyway, I just think that it would be something that'd be really nice if we could maybe just write something together. It's been forever. How are you guys doing? It's just... I made a character choice.
Are you okay, Ian?
I think at this,
I'm gonna stick with it.
I think at this point, Enrique, as he's waving around the knife, he'll pick him up by like the scruff, like a cat would, and have him just continue to wave around the dagger and put him on his shoulder. Enrique,
verily we go into the night, and we know nothing but...
Hey, oye. ¿Qué te dije? Te dije muchas cosas. Calm down, my friend, okay? You're scaring people around here again. This is... how many have you had today? Did you have 2 ounces? You know your limit is only 1.
I fear nothing. I just
and he'll like just give a little napkin just to catch whatever is coming out. And te dije, mijo, 2 ounces is your limit. Ruby, cuántas veces te dije we can't give him the stuff, man.
Darling, if you're going to gesticulate so expansively, remember what I told you, that you hire someone else to take the payment when? When did I say? Before the performance.
Before. It was before. You said that so many times. The last time I gesticulated anything, I got in trouble. Ooh.
But it's okay. It's okay. And you kind of see him kind of holding his, like, what would be his lily pad hair, just with the 2 little frog princes on top. And it's okay, my friend. It's okay. No te preocupes. Enrique te got you.
I'm not that small. He's like, I'm just, jeez.
He's just, Enrique is he would have black on for the day to remember the day. He wouldn't be in his other garment. Oh, yes. Let me tell you about this one time. And he goes into the story of Nimbus and Enrique. Oh, man, those were the days when we would go out and mi espada, man. We go and we dance into the night. All those days, they were fantastic. The blood would be sprayed. I mean, no, I can't talk about that right now. But we would continue those days and nights, and it felt like a long dance. I miss those days, my friend. My friend Nimbus. I was supposed to be there for you. And he looks over. Where the hell is that guitar coming from?
There is, Fantine. In fact, as Enrique began talking, you started hearing this beautiful classical guitar sound coming from somewhere, and it just fit perfectly. And at first you thought it was maybe a bard or something, but now you look, and as he's finishing his story, you see that everyone in the bar is kind of looking at him, and that guitar sound is just fading away in the background, and people just return to their drinks, shaking their heads, not knowing exactly what happened. And
it always happens when I talk. I don't understand. I get into this story, and then all of a sudden the music to start to play, and it's like I am back in my hometown, and we dancing the night away, and the tango. Oh, there it is again. Oh my gosh.
And what would Fantine see as you're talking? What can you describe Enrique for us?
I think so. I think if you were to look, as the camera would pan over and he's talking to his boy Broderick on his shoulders, you would see someone who is completely dressed in black. He is of ribbit kind. He would have a hood on, but as he was going to talk to Broderick, you would see him slowly take down the hood, and you would show the back of his head, and in that you would see small rivets and of green and pastel yellows, but there would be small scars, what seems to be like dagger scars from him and his battles, and his skin would tell that story. He would if he was standing, which he wasn't, but he's sitting down, he would be around 6'1", and you definitely see his more elegance of the way he sits. Everything about him tells some type of story. So like when he's telling a story, he's very dramatic with his hands, and everything is fluid with his motions. So it almost looks like every time he spoke, he was dancing to the rhythm of a invisible sound, and that was kind of his motions, and you would see his eyes, and his eyes, he could move them. So like you'll see him kind of move one eye towards you, kind of. So he's looking at his friends, but as you look over to him, he'll notice you with his other eye, and it's a light pale blue, just to kind of check to see his surroundings, but he'll focus back onto his group as he picks up the ale, and at this time it would be something of a rum nature, some alcoholic beverage in a nice big flask, and he'd be again holding the lily pad to make sure that whatever contents that were coming out of this little fun guy, he would catch them so that it wouldn't get into his drink, because that's what he was most concerned about.
And the third person at the table, Ruby. Mike, would you tell us a little bit about Ruby, as we are learning so much about Enrique and Broderick's proclivities, but there's one member of the team who appears to be a bit more, a bit less wild and out of control, perhaps.
Less out of control, but no less kind of elaborate in their gesticulation. Ruby, or Ruby Hallows, as is her performing name, is a daemon with kind of like big, thick, dyed red hair that falls back with a braid along the top and down, kind of pale, sand-colored skin, short with like a curvy build, and she has elaborate and ostentatious clothes, all the colors of flame, red and orange and yellow, very clearly a performer's outfit. She has kind of bone horns that come up and out to the side, and then one smaller horn that draws to a point at the front of her forehead. And her voice is very musical, but here she is. Things are kind of tamped down a little bit because she is not actively performing out to the world, but instead sharing kind of a moment in confidence with friends.
And how is Fantine reacting, seeing these very broad, colorful personalities, when you were perhaps expecting a bunch of dour heroes scarred from their time in the war, or hero mourning a friend, yet here they are, fairly colorful and alive, and what's Fantine thinking?
Fantine's eyes just kind of like widen as she sees this scene, and I think by the end of it, she looks almost on the verge of tears as she watches just this group that she's heard so much about right in front of her. There's a weird nostalgia to it because she's heard about them since she's, was born. And she sort of whips back to look down at her mug and starts taking like deep breaths. I don't know if Clanks need to actually actively breathe, but she is taking deep breaths. She is freaking out. She'll say, "Oh, that is certainly them. Okay."
You can do this. You got this. You'll be fine. Just they're very kind people.
Oh, I've no doubts. I don't know how many. It's a long story. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Oh, think nothing of it. We're a tavern. That's what we do. We give people drinks.
Much appreciated.
Good luck.
And we'll sort of turn towards the group. And after like a moment, walk up and sort of like at first try. Well, if they see her walking up, would they say something first, or would they like not even notice her because they're bantering?
I think Enrique would notice you get close. He likes to keep an eye or two on people. So if you get close enough, Enrique will turn around. So if you approach, hello, señorita, did you need help?
Cogwheel. Hello. No. Sorry. I will turn around, take another deep breath, and then turn back around to them. I'm Fantine. I'm from Cogwheel. We need your help. Again.
Cogwheel. Ruby, Cogwheel, why
The people
does
of
that
Nimbus
name?
need your help. Again.
His eyes widen.
What was that?
Pops out.
Nimbus's people. We need your help. Again.
I'm retired, señorita. I think you're looking for the wrong people.
No. I would know. You three anywhere. I've heard about you for... Gosh. As long as I can remember. You're just like I expected. I know that this isn't the best day for this, but I was really hoping I would find you three here today. There's been a situation. The Silent Dominion. They're coming back. They've already infiltrated. Can I sit down? We'll sort of.
Oh yes, sorry,
start looking around
señorita.
for looks a
Enrique
little
will-
dizzy.
Enrique will get up from his chair. Okay, señorita, you can sit down. No problem. And he'll pick up Broderick and put him on the table.
Apologies. This is a very, very big day for me. This is not how I expected to meet all of you. I was hoping I would already be
Do you need some tea? They have really good chamomile tea here.
Lug nuts some tea. Ruby has
I have-
stood up and walked over to the bar
ha-
and reached over the bar to get another bottle of wine.
I have chamomile. Actually, I'm quite. This is what I need. Sorry, it's been such a long day.
No, darling, this one's from me. And she, Ruby takes the hilt of her rapier and sabers the top of the wine glass or the wine bottle, so the cork pops, and then begins pouring another round.
Hold on, let me finish this one, and you'll see Enrique down his, and then, please, I need a refill. Glug, 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 glug. Señorita.
Did you also points to Broderick? Did you also need?
No, he's had enough.
Oh yes, he's 2 ounces is too much for him.
Broderick is fully standing there with the cup waiting for his turn.
He's like, "What? Hey, come on. I'm fine. Just a little sun. Photosynthesis. Give me some.
It's nighttime, dear.
Damn. All right. Well, shit.
Señorita, you said they're back. What do you mean?
I'll start from the beginning. I have been at Cogwheel Town training. I'm supposed to be officiated soon, but we have a bit of an issue. The Grey Architect has returned and has taken the soul right with these terrible, I don't want to say creatures, they're us. They're called drudges. They are like if you ripped a soul from someone, but they still walked. Clanks with no light in their eyes. They have taken over the soul right, and there was a group that went, volunteers, to try to take it back. They haven't returned. And they wouldn't let me go with them, and I knew that it was better for me to stay back, and so when they didn't return, I wasn't given clear instructions to come find you, but it's the only thing I could think to do.
Senorita, but why us? What's so special about us?
Why not you? All you did before. You're heroes.
That's the problem. We were heroes. We're retired now.
Darling, if you need a performance to rouse the spirits, to inspire the warriors, to march the militia into battle, that we can do for you.
No, I need you. And sort of like stands up. I need you to go.
Hey! Whoa.
And sorry.
It's okay.
So tall.
Sorry. It'll sit back down and sort of like shrink too. My apologies. Just for this to happen again after all that you all and Nimbus did. I'll sort of look up again at the symbol. To have it all be for naught. I understand that you all are feeling a lot of pain, but just this once, please.
You see Enrique stand up, or he's already standing up. He'll walk over to the shield, and he'll turn his back to the group, and he'll start speaking. You know, the time that Nimbus and we've had so many memories together. There was something that he used to say. The crucible of war, the body may heal, but the mind bears indelible scars of each battle fought. It's no stain that no victory can cleanse, no peace can ever truly erase. We didn't just lose a comrade, we lost family. It's hard that day, especially today. Every year we come together and we speak about this, and it's truly brave experience. And he'll turn from looking at the shield. Senorita, what you are asking us to do is very hard. If this was a couple years ago, with Nimbus at our side, I'm sure we would gallop at the thoughts of it. Nimbus and I, we would go and share the victories of battle together and watch the sunrise every day. We would sit at the corner and talk about philosophy and the beauties of life and the things that happened on a day-to-day, and it's so beautiful to have Nimbus by my side. But it wasn't his time to go. I should have been there. I don't know.
Let's not start the blame game, darling. It's far too early in the night for that.
He'll drink his wine and sit back down.
You said taken the soul, right?
Occupied the area, yes. They've taken over, as it were, creating more of them, those things.
For those of you who knew Nimbus and knew a little bit about where the Clanks live in Cogwheel Town, what you know is that the Clanks are made in this place called the Soul Rite, which is like this giant forge. And when a Clank arrives at the end of their life, either natural or, through accident or violence, whenever possible, their bodies are brought back to the Soul Rite. And in ancient funeral rites, their souls leave the body and remerge with all the other souls that were there before. And one of the things that this does is that it gives access to all the other Clanks that come after, access to the knowledge and memories that these Clanks had. The bodies are then smelted down, and that is used to create new Clanks that are inhabited by new Clank souls. And that's kind of how the Clanks have children, basically, in some ways, is that part of their body is used in creating a new generation of Clanks, and then there are new souls that are created by the Soul Rite and infused in it, and this is how new Clanks are created and continue. And so there was a problem some years ago with one of the engineers of the place who had sort of lost their way a little bit and had become what is known as the Gray Architect, who had caused a lot of problems. And apparently that is what has occurred again. The Gray Architect has returned and taken over the Soul Rite.
What of the militia? What of other adventurers? We tell stories, we sing, we live in the echoes of glory we once sang and danced into the world. Our time is past. This is your time, and I'm sure there are any number of other young adventurers who are looking to go and get themselves doused in blood and glory.
Yeah, we're old.
Speak for yourself, Broderick.
He looks at your knees and he goes,
Yeah.
It was once, una vez solamente.
I understand. As much as I can. This is my first time leaving the town, really. But if it were not for the tales I heard of you, I would have never had the courage to do so. And I don't think, in all due respect, it's up to you if you're heroes or not. I think it's up to those whose lives you've touched, whether through your heroics years ago or your stories now. I don't think there's a time limit, as long as you're around, and even then, the inspiration that you provide in your deeds, heroes live forever.
So I've got an out-of-character question to pitch to everybody. What I'm going to suggest here is that there's something in how FANTINE holds themselves or speaks that reminds one or all of us of Nimbus. And so I will throw that prompt out to see if anybody has an idea that they want to introduce along that line, if that's cool with folks.
You know, you used to speak that way. Señorita. And you see Enrique kind of put his wine glass down. The next generation will always remind the old folks of the things that we've done. But there's something inside of you, Señorita, that reminds me of him. I was down on my luck before Nimbus. And he came along And he inspired a young ribbit like myself. At the time, I wanted to be a warrior. I wanted to be someone of the people. Be the espada of the group and of the clan and the family. And he told me that I can make myself not a hero, but a symbol of hope. And he put that shield in front of my face, and he told me that I can be a part of this family. And now I have Broderick, and I have Ruby, and they are my familia. You need our help? Damn it, I'll do it. Even if I have to take it on by myself.
Thank you. I'll be there, get as much help as I can do. But thank you. And sort of look to the other two. Like, kind of hopefully, like, wide-eyed, like...
Enrique,
Come on,
this is
Broderick.
terribly unfair, because if you go off and get yourself killed, then every year for the rest of our days, I will be the one who has to keep Broderick from drinking himself into oblivion. And we settled this 3 years ago that you are going to handle it.
And see.
Yeah.
See.
And I
Broderick,
have to go because you guys are my ride, so...
I think the only way we can settle this is that we all go, and
I think we have one last hurrah in us. What do you think? There's only one thing left to do, and as warriors, we go into the light battle, see one more sunset, one more daylight. We can do it together. Come on, Ruby, you with your beautiful stories you tell. And Broderick, your beautiful guitar. And don't you think I don't know that you are playing when I'm talking? I hear it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He'll look over to La Señorita, and he'll kneel down to your hand. Thank you for reminding me of who I am. I am Enrique Pablo Francisco de la Cis Alejandro Santiago Ignacio de la Luz Fernández del Campo, Montenegro de la Casa Torres y Gutierrez. I solemnly swear to be by your side.
Oh, thank you. Oh, a round of chamomile for everyone.
Woo! Chamomile tea!
that
No,
can
you are
have.
done.
Calm down,
Chamomile
calm
will be
down.
fine. It will,
There's
it will
enough
calm him
chamomile for
down.
everyone.
Not even tea.
There's enough chamomile for everyone. Calm down.
Lugnut, tell your beautiful mustache to come here, okay? We need some more chamomile tea for my friends. Ruby, what do you think, my friend? I'm not going to rush you into this, but I think we have one more shot, Ruby.
I had resolved to die at a venerable age, surrounded by fans, and with innumerable legendary songs to my name. So far, my career has largely been derived from songs about the conquest of the Silent Dominion. And if they come back, then all of that gravitas, all that pathos is gone. So, Fantine, you tell a very fine story, but I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for my career.
And oh.
You okay there? Do you have a frog in your throat?
That's funny, amigo. No, I just as much as everybody want to help. So that's basically. Where is that tea?
It's coming. Hold on to your underwear. Now, I don't mind you dying for glory or for honor or for your career. Just don't die before you pay the bill. And he brings you a little build along with.
Lugnut, you said you were going to take the care of it. This was on the house for you, you know.
No, I said that for the young lady because she just walked from very far. You came in here on like a horse-drawn carriage, and you didn't look like you had a speck of dust on you. In fact, you looked like you'd been sleeping
Hurry
the
up,
entire
play
time.
that song.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared. I have to get my my. You start. I'll follow. Keep going.
Okay.
I'll handle the bill tonight. Because Lugnut will need to get the key to that chest.
The chest. What chest?
If we're going to ride into imminent danger and potentially burn out rather than fade away, we'll need our real accoutrement.
You know,
It like hits Enrique.
the chess.
Yeah. About that. And we cut away, and when we come back, the four of you are standing outside in the back of Lugnut's Tavern with Lugnut, and you're looking at a big fenced-in area that's got about 30 really angry-looking chickens in it.
Oh no.
We send Broderick.
What? What?
Oh, no, they love mushrooms. They're going to eat them up. Look, see, like, I used to have one of my root cellars over there that was the access, but then we had to get the chickens, and then we didn't have anywhere to put the chickens, and so it had been like 5-6 years, and you never asked for these things again, so I was like, well, you know, there's all this land here that's just kind of going to waste, so yeah, we built a chicken coop over it, and there's a problem with these chickens. They're really angry, and we have not yet been able to approach one. So they're just kind of sitting there getting fat, and we can't even, like, you know, cook one. So yeah. I mean,
Broderick,
your
you can't
heroes-
play the song, take them out of there, you know, like the mouse thing that you did the other day.
I'm sorry, buddy. All I know is Spanish cortadas.
I mean, you
What's
guys,
that?
you guys solved the war. I'm sure you can solve this one.
Fantine, dear, are you perhaps good with animals?
I can try.
Well, you know, there's no trying like trying.
That's a good saying. I should write that one down.
So it's the very hefty chickens and then the shed, I assume.
Yeah, you can kind of see under where, like, because there's straw and, you know, food and all sorts of stuff now, and you can kind of see the corner of where the door is. It's just like right in the middle of where all these chickens are.
Okay. The chicken. You know, if we take all those chickens and we
Don't hurt
get
the
oil
chickens.
and we
Don't hurt the
we
chickens.
No, we're
I'm
not
kinda
hurting
grown
the
attached to them.
chickens. Oh look, but look, I was thinking we can do something like we fries and French fry. They put it
No,
in the
we're not
oil.
going to eat the chickens. I've grown
not
too
cr-
attached to them.
Let me try something. I want to try something.
He gets his guitar from his back.
Maybe I can just lead him out of here.
Oh,
Yes,
like,
with the mouse thing.
Yeah, it took me a second to pick up what you're putting. I'm still a little messed up. Okay.
So you're going to try to lure
Yeah.
the chickens out?
Yeah, and I would like to use one of my experiences to do so.
All right.
I have an experience called It's Showtime, and this has gone anytime that I've had to put myself in a situation to where I've had to kind of show out in one of my talents, and I feel as though that lulling these chickens either out of the coop or possibly to sleep would be definitely a showcase of my experience in the past of my talents when I have to show off.
I'll buy that for $1.
Heck yeah.
So You can spend a hope and use your experience, and then you will give me a presence check.
I would love to spend a hope to assist
Absolutely.
by
How do you do so?
pulling out my mandolin and playing harmony to Broderick's melody and filling out the performance.
And I go over to Fantine, and I can't give a hope because I'm not very talented, but I go, hey, watch this.
And I'm rolling. Cool. That is a 7 with hope. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 14 with hope. There we go.
A 7 at hope. I was like, well. And you add a d6 for the help that you are being given by Ruby.
Oh, okay. Well, then I will hit that one more time. Great. So that's what? What is that? What is that? Math is hard. Hey. 21 with hope still.
That's quite excellent. So you start playing your tune, and at first the chickens are just ignoring you, but you're used to that whenever you perform. It usually takes them like a few minutes to kind of warm up to what it is that you're putting out there, right? Because it's very avant-garde, right? You're a very avant-garde performer. So you start your thing, and at first you're like, maybe these chickens don't like fusion jazz. Like maybe they're just not fusion jazz chickens, right? These things happen. But then after a while, you see a couple of them like then, and they're starting to kind of pick it up. But then they do this weird thing where they start going in a circle. And they're just kind of turning in a circle.
Oh, we gonna open this up?
And it's just this really weird kind of like chicken mosh pit. As they're just sort of spinning around. And then a couple of them start to like lock, and they're like kind of joining in, and there's kind of like a vibe going. And someone reaches out and opens the chicken wire cage, and at first, again, nothing much happens. But then you see one of them. It appears to be the leader. There's this really big white and black spotted one who appears to kind of be the leader. She kind of lifts up her head and an eye and looks straight at you with that eye. And like you skip a beat, and then the chickens kind of like start going all over it, and you get right back on it. And then slowly, that big leader chicken comes around and then heads towards the door, and the others follow. And they're heading straight for you, Broderick. They're coming right at you. What do you do?
Okay, great. And I turn and I just start walking, still playing. Hopefully, like,
are they following me? I don't want to look.
You watch as Broderick disappears down the road, this literal parade of chickens following him. And you watch as they get smaller and smaller. And at some point, Lugnut goes, is he going to bring him back?
I don't know. We're not asking questions. Let's go get our stuff.
Yeah, let's go get that quick. And you rush over.
Let's take them around the block, dear.
He's got small legs, so he's going to get tired real fast. We need to go in there.
Lugnut pulls this old rusted key from around his neck, and he comes over, and a couple of you start clearing out the door, and you find the padlock, and he unlocks. He's like, well, I never thought I'd see the day where this thing's jammed. This thing's rusted all to hell, and it's full of chicken stuff in it. Damn it. Looks at
Ruby.
He looks at the ribbit. About you there, Juan Pablo, can you anything you can do about this?
No, pero Fantine, you want to assist here?
I can try. I don't have a specific lock opening thing.
No, but
can I like shove my arrow in it?
I'll say this. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a finesse roll, but seeing as how you are a clank and kind of mechanically savvy, You've had to do repairs on yourself once in a while or on somebody else, that kind of thing. We'll give you an advantage on it.
Whoa.
Just using the arrow is a good idea, so you may take that approach. So you're going to roll the d6 in addition to your 2d12s and add your finesse to it.
Says I got a critical success.
Hell yeah.
Woo! Let's go.
I'm still not 100% sure about the mechanics.
That's
but
all right. That's
apparently
excellent.
I got a critical success.
So
You've won Daggerheart.
what? Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
One.
What?
All right.
What does it
Crap,
look like
y'all.
when Fantine very effortlessly, with a critical success, manages to unlock this thing?
I think she will use one of her arrows and sort of go into the lock, trying to ignore the fact that there's chicken stuff all over this thing, and sort of wiggle it around until she kind of feels a click, and then pulls, and it opens.
Opens right away. The chain comes off. A couple of you grab the doors, pull them open. There's a set of stairs that goes down to this little dark recess. You step down there. You see old, supplies like old earthenware jugs, things of that nature, stuff that's just gone bad. But there in a chest, right in the middle of the place. Place where you left all your equipment. You grab the chest, you come back out. Meanwhile, out on the road, you are playing your little mushroom ass off. Like, this is a performance of a lifetime. And as you're going down the street in the middle of the thoroughfare, just rocking, you're like Meatloaf on steroids, but small. You see an old man on the side of the road who's like trying to dig a hole to put a fence in, and he stops and he watches you and he grabs a handkerchief and he wipes his head. It's quite the show you're putting on there, son. Where were you going with that?
Yeah, I have no idea.
You're just taking
But,
it out on the road, are you?
Going for a walk.
Yeah, brother, I've been there.
Just
You looking for an audience?
always.
Well, if you go back in town, you're gonna see a place called Lugnut's Trading Post. They're always hiring.
You know what? I've heard of that place before. I think I'll go now.
And then just start to go.
What was your name, kind stranger?
My name is Jeb, and as you turn around, you notice there's not a single chicken left behind you.
Oh no.
Oh shit! Here, chicken, bugak. Damn. Lugnut's gonna be pissed. Jeb, did you see where my chickens went?
I ain't seen no chickens. And
Jeb, you need
there's
to
a
tell me
there's
you've
a
been
pigeon.
sitting
There's
here
a
this
pigeon.
whole
There.
time.
I thought you were just practicing.
You didn't hear me singing the songs? I was just like, hey, chickadee. You know what, Jeb?
I thought it was just
You
that
have a great
newfangled
day.
rock and roll music. I don't cotton up to that. I'm a classics man myself.
Free chicken.
It's just, okay.
Yeah, the 17-minute
damn.
blowout version.
Just fucking going for it.
Okay, I gotta go. I'm sorry.
And then he just kind of
Hey,
like,
no
you
problem.
see his little legs.
You got talent. You return to your friends as they are opening this chest. And the weapons you have put in there, these heirlooms, these weapons that saw you through so many battles, that saved your lives, saved the lives of your companions, these artifacts of your former glory. You open the chest, and out of it comes all this dust and a whole bunch of moths. There's like something small that kind of crawls out of it and runs away. Your stuff's all there under a nice little layer of dust.
Enrique will see a moth and go put him in his mouth. Dusty.
Well, there they are. I almost sold them in 3 years ago when we had that big drought and everyone was, having a little bit of difficulty scraping by. But I thought to myself, Lugnut, if they come back and they find out you sold their stuff, they're gonna be pretty pissed off. And so, since you're all bigger than me, except for, Roderick over there, I thought it might be too dangerous to do that. So I didn't. But here you are, your stuff.
Enrique will look at his attire that's inside, and you will see the rapier. And the clothes that you see in there are green with a yellow lining around them. He's got a shoulder, they're not shoulder harness, but it's like a shoulder cape that's attached to his coat. It's got bronze embroidery all over the buttons. He has a leather satchel, not a satchel, that's not correct. It's a leather harness strap and a leather belt along with his pants. And he has some gauntlets that are made out of cloth and leather put together, and his family heirloom, which is his rapier that has a symbol on it. And on one side of the rapier it says Mi Familia, and on the other side there's what seems to be like an embroidered message that is said to him, and it's on there, but you can make out the signatures of the group that were together, and you can see that it's definitely kind of aged with time, but that is the materials you see there. And he'll pick up his stuff and kind of just hold it in his hands and feel the weight of his clothing as he looks up to his compatriots.
Well, I'll take these for Broderick, and...
Oh, in the distance you hear... and he's just running back.
And he goes, "Oh my God, you guys are still here. Great. You will not believe what happened to me and or the chickens." Is that our stuff?
There you go, mi amigo. And he'll hand over your little clothes. What do they look like?
They are similar to what he's wearing now, but instead of the bright green, they kind of go into this like autumn-esque orange and yellow, very presenting for such a big, strong man. And after he puts those on, he goes back into the chest, and you kind of see his little legs coming out, and he comes back out with these branch gauntlets that are adorned with these very small, luminescent fungi across the wrist of it. And then he jumps back in, and he comes back out, and he just stands there holding this tree root orange tinted blade, his little dagger. And he looks and he goes,
This is the dagger that Nimbus gave me when I first started to help. Is this a dagger which I see before me?
and he just completely goes off into a whole monologue sonnet.
I have thee not, but yet I still see thee in my hand.
And it's just, after all of like the alcohol and the chickens and whatever, the emotion has actually hit him of the day, and he's realizing what he's jumping back into. And then he kind of sucks it up and turns around and he goes,
I'm fine. We're fine.
still brandishing this dagger very aggressively.
¿Dónde están los chickens?
No, comprendo.
And then it just turns away.
And what does Ruby retrieve from the trunk?
So
Typical
in
trunk.
the chest there is a set of fine leather armor that has a lot of like embroidering and embossing, somewhat similar to the designs on ENRIQUE's, but all the designs on Ruby's armor and on the lacquered scabbard of her rapier are musical notes, notation, and clefs and keys, and they kind of waver and shimmer, and she draws the rapier, and as it moves it kind of flows slightly blurred, and a full chord in a major key kind of starts and maintains, and then the notes go up and down as she flourishes the blade, and then the sound stops as she resheathes it.
Man, I missed that.
Same.
Oh.
Well, I never thought I'd live to see the day where the three of you would turn here and pick up arms once again and head off to be the heroes you've always been, reaching out for the stars and the sun and treading forward towards the horizon and accomplishing so many great deeds. And did you bring by my chickens, by the way?
Into the barn.
Oh yeah, there's a guy down the road. He's digging a hole. His name's Jeb. He's got him.
Jeb, he's vegetarian.
Jeb. I didn't say he's eating them. He's just got him.
What's he doing to my chickens?
I don't know. Ask Jeb.
And thus, the great chicken vendetta of Lugnut's trading post was begun by one little fungrel named Broderick. It would echo down the ages and come to eclipse his contributions in the Silent Dominion War and be his lasting legacy. You okay, Ian?
No, but I love it here so much. Please do not perceive it. Keep it going.
Finally attired now and equipped, you turn to Fantine as the one person that can get you where you're supposed to be going.
Okay, señorita. We're ready. Where are we going?
And Fantine's eyes look almost like watery in their glassiness, looking kind of almost on the verge of tears again. If a Clank can't cry.
I'm sorry, did I offend you?
No. You look just like I thought you would.
Well, we were a 4-person band.
I fear the fourth. Those shoes are a bit big to fill. I'll merely be an assistant.
Oh no, you'll be more than that.
From what Nimbus said, when a Clank passes, their experience and their wisdom is shared with all, and it returns as new Clanks emerge. And so their experience and their wisdom is with you in some way, metaphysically, that I never quite internalized. It's a different paradigm, rather lacking in scansion, but you'll do fine.
What he said, everything goes over mi cabeza.
Does Fantine have like a shield or something, or like maybe like a piece of armor that's like flat surfaced?
Not visible. She's got this like she wears like an armor chest plate under the sash, and then she's got her quiver and her bow, so that's about it. And
So
then leather.
Roger's gonna be like,
Come here. Just if you could just bring it on down here real quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll sort of
Awesome.
kneel.
and then like
Like she's about to be
Kind
knighted.
of-
Like she's like,
yeah, right? And like on their armored chest plate, Roger kind of takes like out like a little piece or
Well,
something. and he's like,
actually,
"Okay, we're just gonna-"
actually,
Heard.
as you look and help her remove her sash, which she does, looking perhaps a little hesitant, you see
hey! And looks at the two of them. Hey! Yeah, right?
You can stand up now.
I didn't know how to tell you. And we'll sort of put her hands over the emblem now exposed on her chest. There was no real right way to say it. I don't feel worthy of this piece. I just happen to have it.
Señorita, you are family. You are familia. There's no need to be ashamed of that. We all carry a heavy burden. But don't worry. You will prove yourself with time. We didn't think so till you came too. We were retired old folks. My knees barely work.
Nothing a short jaunt to town won't help.
Okay. Broderick, you ready? You're gonna carry me.
The fuck? You can try.
And I think like because obviously knowing what Broderick was about to do, and he like kind of points at them.
Only very special people get to wear that. And I think it's in the right place.
you realize
See.
that the chest plate that she's wearing has been fashioned from the shield that Nimbus used to have.
It's a sign. It's a sign. All right.
I'm not crying. You crying.
No, we're crying together. It's fine. It's okay.
No.
Okay.
Just ride the emotion, follow through,
No.
passes through you. And then Ruby pulls out the mandolin and begins playing a heartbreaking song telling the story of how the band assembled, but the chorus is Nimbus's last stand, and so it jumps forward and back and forward and back, and you get the chorus. And then the reprise of the chorus has like a slightly different ending. And it is very much that like you have to cry it out, because when you do, you're left with more space for hope. So everyone should take a hope.
There's mucus secreting from his skin, and he's crying. Brother.
Calamity crying.
Roger takes off his lily pad, and you can see that he's a cremini mushroom, and he's just swollen. He's just like, it's just really bad.
That was great. God, you're so good at what you do.
Ay, Dios santo.
And so, thus fortified by the wonderful piece of music played for you and the appearance of Nimbus's symbol, and afraid of what might happen if Lugdun doesn't get his chickens back, you all find yourselves back on the road, heading towards the Soul Rite. The last time you were there was to bring back Nimbus's chest plate, shield, and axe. Some of it which you now realize has been put to good use. And as you hit the road, heading towards whatever new fate or destiny awaits you all, I think it's a good point to take a break. So we will go and blow our noses and clear out all that mucus.
It's lotion for the skin.
Lotion for the skin. Thanks so much, everyone. So great to see so many people in the chat, some new faces. Everyone who's following, greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us tonight, watching these wonderful people give us a good time with their little characters. We will be back in just a few moments. Please don't go away. We will return with some more action very short. Thank you so much, and we will see you in just a moment. Okay, so they've been tasked with returning to the hometown of this fallen hero Nimbus, because apparently some ancient enemy, some old enemy called the Grey Architect has returned and has taken over the Soul Right, which is where Clanks are made. And so the Clanks in that area, not being very, warrior types, have sent the young Clank, FANTINE, played by Calamity, to get some heroes. And FANTINE returns with some serious heroes. Serious. They do have a chicken following them, so how serious is it going to get? We don't know. But
it's a snack.
It's a snack. No, you're not going to eat his chicken. But no, it's not going to eat it. And so, as we continue, you have set off on the road towards the Sentinel Mountains to make your way back to Cogwheel Town. Oh, hello, Cujo. Welcome in. Hey, Varl, thanks for coming in. And see you come in. Yeah, everyone's got art. Let me put that art up. We do play Daggerheart every other Tuesday on Crit Hit Chronicles on Cujo's channel, and that's myself and Northwolf and a whole bunch of cool people, Laura Tutu, Kato, and who else plays with us? Oh, Noir Enigma. Sorry, Noir. How can I forget the Noir Enigma?
How can you forget the best boy?
Over on Cujo's channel, Crit Hit Chronicles, every other Tuesday. So, yeah. I played Clank there. Clank Sarah, in fact, with a tuning fork. So that's totally where I totally plagiarized myself with this game. And now, and I was gonna say earlier, actually, Calamity, like you're like, do Clanks cry? Do Clanks during? I like make a decision. Whatever you decide is canon in my Daggerheart world. Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
Do Clanks cry? Do Clanks cry?
Clanks cry.
What do you think? Do they cry? Calamity?
My brain went into such a scientific place. I was like, well, crying is because you're releasing chemicals from your body. So what chemicals would decide? So let's say no.
A little bit of oil came out though.
Yeah, right. A little bit of oil. Just, like at the edges.
A little oil. Just a little oil.
Lubricant. Yes.
Awesome. So you find yourselves on the road as you climb up higher and higher into the Sentinel Mountains. One of the reasons why the Clanks have built their town there, Cogwheel Town, and the Soul Right, is because those mountains are super rich in all sorts of minerals, all sorts of metals, all sorts of stones, and all these things that are used in the creation of Clank bodies. And so they are sort of caretakers of the mountains. They take what they need from it. They try not to take too much, etc. And as you are climbing through this mountain, you see everywhere these huge deposits of all sorts of minerals, all sorts of colors, beautiful glowing ones, darker ones. There's all sorts of interesting striations through the stone that you're seeing. And as you're climbing higher and higher, you see more and more of these, to the point where you are eventually surrounded by these beautiful glowing crystals, these beautiful glowing minerals of all sorts of colors that illuminate the path. So even though darkness has fallen and it is now night, the mountain pass in front of you, the road that you are following, is very brightly lit, very beautifully lit of multicolors, and it's just a very beautiful sight. And you've, I will say, you've all been here at least once before when you brought back the remains of Nimbus to the Soul Rite. But even though this might be your second or maybe your third time seeing this, it is, as always, very beautiful sight, and very, it makes you feel good. It gives you hope. It reinforces the need to sort of go and help these people and do what you can to help them. As you are traveling then along this narrow pass, I will ask each of you to go ahead. Just go ahead. I'm not going to ask anything. Just go ahead. Go ahead and give me an instinct roll. Do you have anything that would work on the level of awareness and experience, or something you would like to use? So for, in case you don't know, you start the game with 2 hope. And everyone got 1 from Ruby a little earlier. We should have 3 hope. And every time you roll, and if someone rolled earlier with hope, if you roll with hope, you get a hope point. So do not forget to tally your hope points.
I have 19 with hope.
Get yourself a hope point.
I have an 11 with hope.
Excellent.
25 with hope.
Holy smokes.
Holy smokes!
And you, Ian?
I got a 9 with hope.
That's very nice. You're very hopeful. You don't say anything, but you're very hopeful.
Yeah.
You are
That's great.
obsessed by the fact that you think there's a chicken following you, and you've been trying to catch up. Every time you turn around, it's not there.
You guys see that chicken? You guys see that chicken, right?
No one has seen
¿Qué
the
tú
chicken.
estás hablando? What are you saying? ¿Qué chicken? What
Está
chicken?
un pollo aquí. Mira, escúchame. Está pollo aquí.
And as you're busy trying to find this chicken, these are your lands, FANTINE, and you know them well. And so the second you hear a sound that is different, the second you hear something out of place, you automatically react. And what you picked up was some sort of echo. You okay there?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to sneeze.
That's it. You picked up some kind of echo bouncing off the mountainous rocks around you, and it was an unnatural sound. It wasn't like an echo of a voice or of rocks falling or anything like that. It was more a kind of a kind of sound that echoed through the canyon around you. Thank you so much, Varl. Varl has provided plus is 1 hope, but it is an advantage. Each of you have an inspiration and advantage for Letor. What do you do?
I think FANTINE will definitely stop. And sort of, and this isn't a sound that's like at all familiar to me.
No.
FANTINE will stop and say, something's wrong.
Señorita, what are you saying? I didn't hear anything. What is wrong?
There was a sound. It's doesn't belong here. I've trained a lot around here. Something's wrong.
What do you feel? What is? I don't understand.
You hear it again.
Game
coming
master,
through
do we?
that canyon, that kind of.
I'm assuming we don't hear that.
Well, now you do. Now that FANTINE has pointed it out, everyone.
Is there a way to? Oh no, I guess not.
So that hum's not normal? It's just not
No.
the vibes of the place?
No. It's not the vibes.
up ahead,
Yeah.
there's kind of like a branch. You are currently along the side of a rock formation. There's like 2 stone bridges, one that you've just crossed and another one where you're going, and up ahead the road kind of branches, and you can see some of the lights very similar to the lights that you're seeing with the rock formation and minerals around you, but they appear to be moving and sort of moving down towards you down that path.
You said the rocks are moving towards me?
No, not the rocks, the lights.
Oh, the lights. Sorry. I think immediately she'll kind of like draw her bow and like kind of nod towards the approaching lights, say, that's not right.
To arms, mi amigos.
As you draw your weapons and prepare to face whatever is coming, you see up ahead, coming down, 2 of them, one on either side of this road that sort of splits ahead of you. Floating in the air are these metal constructs that are floating on these little jets of flames, and the sounds that you're hearing is this weird sort of, it's almost kind of like you don't know what echolocation is, but it's kind of what is going on. They're doing these kinds of pings of sounds that kind of reach out around them and bounce off the walls. And as you see these sets of lights coming, you can turn, if you will, to the owlbear. The good old owlbear.
Do they see us?
Well, we're going to find out in just a moment. So they're coming on down both those sides. Realize we can't see that one on the map. I'll put it there. So I'm going to let you guys are here, so I'm going to let you guys sort of put yourselves wherever you want. You knew they were coming, so I'm going to let you go ahead and push yourselves around. If you don't know how to use owlbear, there's a little toolbar on the right hand side. At the top there's a little hand. If you click on that, you'll be able to move your personage.
So we're coming from back here, right?
Yeah.
Like we came this way?
Exactly.
Okay, so Fantine's kind of like leading.
Yes. Enrique would be in the front and would place a hand over Fantine to let her know to stay behind without saying anything. It's more of like a protective gesture, like stay back. And Roderick, tune up my song. You know the one.
Definitely.
Give me a second, do your thing.
Definitely the song from Desperado.
Can we do that here?
Copyrighted, I think, but
A legally distinct version.
of a very similarly played song.
You'll also notice on the map I've placed a combat tracker as well as the fear tracker, and I have placed tokens with your characters. Beautiful visages on them. So whenever you take an action, you will, and it's one of the particularities of this system, whenever you take an action, you will take one of your tokens and slide it over on the combat tracker. And then when I get to go, I get to use those against you. Ha ha ha.
What?
So for people who are not familiar with Daggerheart, the way Daggerheart works, there's no initiative kind of in the traditional sense. At this point, the players have the advantage, so they get to start going. And every time they take an action, and they can take as many actions as they want, every time they take an action, they place a token on the board. If one of them rolls a failure, they roll with fear, then I get to take control, or sometimes I can also interrupt the flow of combat. But until that happens, they get to go as much as they want and do what they want. Now, we are using a house, well, not a house rule, but an optional rule in the game that says that no one is allowed to place 3 tokens until everyone has placed at least 1. I have fear tokens, my fear tokens, here they are.
Oh.
I have 2 of them right now.
Okay.
I start with 2.
Okay.
So with fear tokens, I can interrupt you. I can activate special powers from the bad guys. All sorts of fun stuff.
Este...
Oh, almost showed you the
Enrique.
bad guys there. Oh,
Oh, no, don't do that.
that was almost ugly.
Rewind.
So,
Eh,
what?
I
would
don't
you
think
like to
Enrique would go first. I think he would look at Fantine as an archer. I'm assuming, point of clarification, the things that we see are hovering, correct? They're not touching the ground.
They are not touching the ground.
Okay. So I think he would look over to Fantine and say, how good are you with that thing?
Pretty damn good.
Why don't you try to take one of those out?
Oh my gosh, if I roll bad, I'm gonna cry. Yeah.
All right. Go
All
ahead.
right, so I move a token to the combat tracker.
Yep.
And I'm gonna try to shoot. Oh, how close do I have to be? Hold on.
Oh, you can reach both of them without too many issues.
Oh, I can?
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. I'll get this one then.
Okay.
Wait a minute, before you do anything,
Oh.
I just want to make sure that you know, that we know, that you have that symbol for a reason, okay? You let them know who you are. You ain't no punk. You got this. Woo!
I ain't
and
no
then-
punk.
You ain't no punk. That's right. Clank Nation.
And it's just Project.
She's getting hyped up. She's like, okay, let's go.
We
I-
can-
the Daggerheart version of Nuck If You Buck is just going off. Going off. And then it's a rallying speech. So you get all of my allies get a D6 rally die.
Nice.
Oh.
And I would say like your gloves to add to it are illuminescent. So like since there are like rock formations around there and crystal, like every time he's playing music and stuff, it looks like a disco ball that's lights and stuff. That looks like a show that's going on. You know? No, if you book. No, I mean what? Dab something.
Dab.
Dab if you stab.
Dab if you stab. Dab if you stab.
I don't know if we're supposed to be stealthy or not, but Project's not. He's just like,
We're rallying.
All right, take him out, Calamity.
All right, so I rolled 17 with hope on my attack.
Love
That's
So then I roll
good.
damage, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. 17 should hit. I'm just going to double check. 17 does hit.
Woohoo! And I do 8 damage.
8
Ugh.
damage. Describe what it looks like as you shoot this thing.
Fantine, who is now wearing the kind of symbol more openly, trying not to be as a kind of like ashamed that she doesn't earn it, or she hasn't earned it yet. Will draw her bow and kind of do like the one eye close thing for a second, then let it go. Yeah, just let it.
We are having a little bit of technical difficulty with
Go for
Calamity's.
I question mark.
There
Uh-oh.
you go.
Yeah. All right, you're back. Sorry, we were having a lot of difficulty. You were cutting out, but we get the gist of it. You shoot it right in that big, baleful eye of it. Your arrow flies across quite nice and true, and you hit it. However, it appears to be somewhat fairly armored, so it doesn't take as much damage as you would have hoped, but you did do damage to it as sparks kind of fly off around it, and now their lights kind of all start scanning around and trying to find where you are. But you still get to go because you rolled with hope. So
Ooh,
who
okay.
would like to go next? Who would like to go next? Or anyone can go. Just if you have an idea of something you
I'm
want to
good.
do,
No, I
grab a
should
token
go.
and go to town.
I want to. So Ruby looks at these kind of floating light things and sees how they move and how they react when they're shot by Fantine's arrow,
Mhm.
and kind of flips through the pages of her memory to try to see if an old flame of hers who was a wizard ever mentioned anything about this. Because I'm probably angling toward a knowledge roll because I want to see if I can identify or recall information about these creatures.
All right, go for it. Give me that. That's totally viable.
Great. So I'm going to spend a hope on one of my experiences, which is trivia learned from ex-girlfriends.
I have that.
To add +1 to that roll. So this is going to be, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my advantage from the rally.
Excellent. Now, does this count as an action, so you have to put a token on the board?
That'll be up to you, probably. I will add a token.
I would think so, yeah.
So that is a 24 with hope.
Excellent. The main thing you recall is these things don't look exactly what you heard about, but you remember that during the war against the Silent Dominion, they had a type of unit that were called suppressors. And what these things would do is they were similar to this, although they were not quite as mechanically advanced looking. They were more like simple spheres created by magic. What they would do is that they would send these things out and they would emanate this kind of magic that would nullify sounds. And so they're very dangerous to anyone who needs to be able to vocalize things or powers and things of that nature, because they tend to suppress sound in an area. So you do remember that. You also remembered that they were known to be kind of erratic and have different kind of abilities that they would do, but the most dangerous one was that the ability to suppress all sounds in an area.
Oh, darlings, these are those suppressors. Looks like a different design, but they'll snatch any sound or music out of the air if you get too close. Ruby says to the others as she kind of shifts over a bit to evaluate them more closely.
At this point, Enrique is very impressed with Fantine, and that she took a shot. He would be very proud of you as he nods at her, and he, without hesitation, charges towards the first one that's in front of him, which would be this thing right there. And he will go ahead and use his rapier and try to make an attack with it.
It's a rapier.
Rapier. Okay. And that is +1. That is 19 with fear. But I get my rapier has a 2d8 +3 damage.
Okay. So you succeeded with fear. So go ahead and do your damage, and we'll see what the fear does.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, that is for damage 11.
All right, he's going to spend a little bit of his armor. And take a little bit of damage. As you run towards him, and you take a stab with your rapier, your rapier goes in, finds a little hole in the armor, and kind of goes in, and sparks will not start to fly. But unfortunately, and I will here spend one of my fear to get 2 tokens, which I will steal from you.
Okay, that's good.
As you stab into it, electricity shoots through your blade and ripples through it, and you start feeling your hand vibrate as this electrical discharge sort of envelops you. And you will not take damage, unfortunately, because this roll was a total failure. But you feel like, and just at the last second you go, but because you roll with fear, what happens is you let go of the sword. So this thing is in front of you and it's flying, and your rapier is stuck inside of it, and it's kind of like this, and it's got sparks and stuff flying all over it. I will proceed to take an action. I will Give you back your token. I will activate this one in front of you. One of their abilities is that they have Relentless, which allows them to activate twice per move. So this thing is going to mark a stress.
Cool.
And it is going to do something not cool. Go ahead and roll me a 1d6, Northwolf, if you would.
A 1d6?
Yes, please.
A 3.
A 3. The sphere, whatever this thing is, starts to shake. Its power is jets underneath it. Go Nova hot as fire starts playing. It looks like it's holding itself back, and then you can see this motor sort of winding, and these jets underneath it kind of start to grow more and more powerful. And all of a sudden, it just jets forward. And as it jets forward, it is going to go roll over you and roll into here. And everyone in these area will be trampled by this thing. I will start with a 16 on Enrique. What's your evasion?
That is actually meets or beats it.
Nice. And then 17 on Fantine. What's your evasion?
Hold on, too many tabs. And I don't 100% know. Where do I find my evasion?
On your character sheet. At the top left.
Top
hand.
left.
Sorry, I should have asked on. It's 13 specifically on.
13, all right, so it hits, and I rolled a
plain.
6, and I'm going to miss the fun grill. So in your case, Northwolf, you will take a total of 15 damage.
Okay.
And
15.
Fantine will take 18 damage. Right, so the way you mark off damage, Fantine, is now you've just taken 18 damage, right? You have armor. You can choose to take off some of your armor, and each of these checks that you do on the armor will reduce the damage by the amount of your armor. So if your armor rating is whatever 5, every check you mark off your armor will reduce the damage by 5. But those don't repair until you have some time to, some downtime. So you have to kind of modulate that.
And on Demiplane, there's a neat little calculator that does it for you. So you put in the number, and it'll tell you how many to mark off your HP.
So I took 18 damage, you said, right?
Yeah.
I want to let me do 18. Oh, it's up at the top. Sorry, give me a second.
It's okay. No, it's right. While you're sorting that out, it's going to take its second action that it can take. And while it's down there, I'm going to ask... It rams down all the way down and sort of rolls over you. If you took damage from this, by the way, you also have vulnerable until you roll with hope again. So please note that. As it comes screeching in, this loud shrieking noise emanates from it. And it's kind of like the equivalent to having a cluster of mechanical bees sort of rattling around in your brain. All of the people around the suppressor right now, which is everyone except Enrique, I'm going to need you to make a presence roll. Presence reaction roll.
Don't forget, y'all got a D6 if you haven't used it already.
You said everybody besides Enrique.
Except you, yeah.
You said roll which roll? I'm sorry.
So you're going to roll on your presence. The presence reaction roll, so you're going to roll your presence.
My presence.
Hey, Tales of Initiative, thank you so much for the raid.
Woo!
Greatly appreciated.
Add a D6.
Hey, Vaguely
question on
Haley,
this.
how you doing?
Is this going to be like a visual effect that these things are going to be applying, or
It's not visual, no, it's sound.
it's just okay?
I have a question because I just found it. My class feature states, after a successful attack roll, you can describe how you outmaneuver your target and mark a stress to deal them a stress.
Okay. I'm happy to give it a stress if you want.
Sure.
But you have to mark one.
Yes, I did.
Right. So everyone who rolled your presence, your target that was 15. What did you? Did anyone succeed?
I did.
All right. Calamity.
14 with hope.
Okay. So the 14 unfortunately doesn't succeed. The sound deafens you and rattles you. You will take 6 damage. This you cannot downgrade with armor. And in addition to being vulnerable, you are now mute. You cannot speak or make sound or hear sound. You're deaf and mute until you get to roll with hope again. So you are kind of dazed. You can't hear anything. You can't speak. And you are also find yourself vulnerable because of the attack, as you've been bowled over and are kind of lying on the ground.
So the vulnerable doesn't go away even though I rolled with hope.
Oh no, you rolled with hope. Yeah, the vulnerable does go away as you were just picking yourself up.
Dang, but now I'm dazed and I can't talk.
Dazed and confused. All right. I will then. The other one will then spend a token, and it will come barging by. It will unleash from its big central eyeball this coruscating beam of light shoots out and cuts through the rock, heading towards the lot of you. It will do. It will attack Broderick with.
Now you're just bullying me, man.
Yeah, I know.
You can barely see me.
13. Does 13 hit?
13 unfortunately hits.
All right. As you take a whole bunch of magic damage, you will take 17 points of magic damage.
It sucks.
It sure does. It will continue on its way and use its action to approach.
Question, GM.
Yeah.
How close was the second one moving from me?
It was moving fairly close. Why? Why don't you tell me what you want to do?
Attack of opportunity.
I would say that it went
class.
about 10 feet away from you.
So that's a great question because I don't know how long my blade is, and
Well, you don't have your
tell
blade
me.
anymore. It's stuck in the other guy, right?
yes, you are correct.
What's the range on attack of opportunity?
It doesn't really give a range. It says
Probably
if
close.
an adversary attempts to leave your melee range, make an
Well, it
agility
wasn't in melee
reaction.
range with you, though, so it wouldn't have.
Yeah.
It wasn't engaged with you. So this thing arrives there, and as it does, it drops from canisters underneath it. These little canisters drop to the ground, and this gas starts to spread around where you are. All of you must make
Oh
a
crap!
finesse.
It's got a bomb.
All of you must make a finesse reaction roll.
Including myself or no?
Not you. Yeah, you're good.
Finesse reaction.
Yeah.
Heard.
Your target is 15.
Give me something good. Oh, let's go.
That's a 23 with hope.
Excellent. Very nice.
Yes, you're no
So-
longer death or mute.
Do both go away or would just one go away?
Both go away. Yeah.
Nice. I unfortunately got an 18 with fear.
Oh no.
Oh no.
¿Por qué?
He's got a bomb.
And
What am I supposed to do?
Mike, what did you get?
I got 11 with hope.
All right. So, Mike, you will. This gas shocks your nervous system, and you will be forced to take 3 stress as it starts making you your nervous system starts to short circuit. Your arms are kind of moving erratically. You certainly wouldn't be able to play any complex part on the harpsichord right now, as your entire nervous system is kind of vibrating and shaking on you. So you take 3 stress from that. And I'll call it a day there, and I will kick it back off to you all.
Okay.
That's so sweet of you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Does it look like this machine needs the ground to propulse itself off the ground?
Well, they haven't shown that they can fly very high. So probably it needs to be a certain distance from the ground, yeah.
And I'm assuming that's a bridge that we're on?
Yep.
I'm going to toss this thing off the bridge.
Well, that's a good idea. Go for it.
So I am going to run.
Question to how do you feel about tag team efforts?
Heck yeah.
Well, you can. Every player can, once per, I want to say session, or it might be seen, I'll have to double check, offer to do a tag team. So the way the tag team works is that the players have to spend 3 hope. You spend 3 hope, and then the 2 of them will get to roll. We'll take the best roll of the 2, and then if they succeed, both get to roll damage.
Ooh.
And then
I think right now we
Good
want to
stuff.
save that for now.
I was thinking the same thing. Do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that we're saving that for now. However, I have something for later. We're gonna take. I'm a little mad at the fact that he took my sword.
Hello, man.
So I'm going after the guy.
See, I was
that
hoping
took
you
my
would
sword.
throw it off, and then I would just be like, you watch as your sword glints.
Oh no, Enrique wants his sword back. Okay, so he's going after his sword. That is his family's sword. So he's going to go after the machine that grabbed his sword, whichever one, because he lost track.
It
of
was
which
the
one
one
it was.
that's the furthest ahead.
Okay, so he is grabbing his sword.
All
and
right.
he wants.
I am going to
wants to
spend a
pull it.
fear here to be a total jerk. I'm
Sure.
going to spend a fear, and as you reach here, and right just as your fingers are about to close on the sword, this thing, not realizing you're there at all and not really caring, is going to jet off over here. And you're like,
okay.
as you watch it
That's-
fly off
Sure.
and go just outside of your range, where it will turn around and unleash in your general direction another
But
one
wait.
of its beams, because it gets at the
But wait,
direction.
there's more. There's
but
more.
I
I
interrupted.
use my long tongue
Oh,
to bring it back.
How
Your
does
ass
that-
ain't going nowhere without my sword.
how does that work?
So I have a Ribbit Ancestry class option where I use long tongue. You can lose your long tongue to grab onto things close to you. You can also mark a stress to unleash it as a finesse close weapon that does D12 physical damage using your proficiency. So
Well, listen,
I
this
can-
is what I'll let you do, okay?
I can come back.
I'm not gonna let you do damage to it, but I will give you a chance to grab the sword with it.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
You okay with that? So make me
I'm
a
okay
roll.
with that.
Just make me a finesse roll. Your target is gonna be 15.
And I still have my D6 because I didn't use it in my other roll.
There you go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, that is a 4 plus a 12 plus 6 with hope. So that's 22.
Excellent. So as this thing is flying off away from you, and your fingers are just kind of grabbing for you, you're like, no, 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 and then you shoot your tongue out. Your tongue wraps around the handle. You take a little bit of a shock because there's residual electrical energy, and you're like, click, click, kind of like when you touch a 9-volt battery to your tongue, and then you grab onto it, and for a moment there's like this tug of war with your tongue being the rope, and then slowly clink, the sword pops out of the thing rolls forward, your sword comes right back at you. You're seeing it kind of come point first, but you are very dexterous, and whoosh.
Yes, tring. My name is Enrique Pablo Francisco de la Cis Alejandro Santiago Ignacio de la Luz Fernández Montenegro de la Casa Torres y Gutierrez del Campo. You took my sword. Now prepare to die.
Excellent. I will give you all back initiative for this wonderful display of tonguemanship.
Yes.
Who would like to do something?
Oh gosh. Can I shoot things?
You can shoot things. Just put a token on there and get to rolling.
Unless somebody else had something they wanted to do first.
I was gonna push this thing off the side.
Oh no, go for it. No, please, by all means.
Sick.
So just like all of this Calamity is going on. Broderick is just like this very, very teeny tiny scream. You just say, and he's gonna power push the robot that's closest to him. Hopefully, if successful, getting them off the bridge.
Go for it. The target's 15.
Give me something good. Oh, Jesus. Didn't we get an advantage from Varl?
Yep.
Yes, we did.
I'm gonna take that.
You also gave us an advantage, but I don't know if you can give that to yourself.
It's to allies.
Okay.
So we're gonna do this one more time up in here. Oh God, yes. Okay. I got a 15 with that advantage.
With hope?
With hope.
All right.
So
you run over to this thing. Now you're very small, and you've been describing yourself as very small. You've been talking about the fact you're very small. So you're at kind of a disadvantage here. All right. So you start pushing it, and what's happening is that as you're pushing it, it's kind of trying to roll over you because you're kind of like going out. So you keep having to kind of like, kind of resettle on it and kind of grab it and push it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the sphere that I have here. Move it off to the side. I'm going to spend it. And as you're trying to push it, it realizes what you're trying to do. And it's not going to sit down. It's not going to go down sitting down. I mean, it's not going to, but I don't know what's going on.
It's not going to go down
exactly.
quietly.
It's not going to go down. It will shoot. Oh no, hold on.
Why are we shooting stuff?
Because that's what we do. It shoots up right into the air. Its jets underneath it lighting up. It shoots straight up into the air. You fall down from trying to push it because it kind of just rolls out of the tip of your fingers. And it will try to burn you with its jets and fail miserably with a 4.
It's just...
As you fall down and its jets just start raining down fire and flames over you. You manage to roll away from it and not get injured by it because it kind of misses. But it's sort of hovering a little bit too high now for you to.
Does it still take
push
the
it.
damage from the push?
Yeah, what's brawl damage again?
It's 2d10 on this one.
Go for it.
Oh crap! That's 9.
Okay. Cute. We'll spend some armor. All right. It does get 2 actions per move, so it is going to shoot forward again and trample over y'all. It will attempt to trample Broderick with a 14.
Yep.
FANTINE, with a 21.
Yeah,
And
again,
Enrique with
works
a
little bit.
7.
No, you miss.
All right, so damage for Broderick is 9. For FANTINE, it's 11, and you both have vulnerable as you are bumped down and fall on your tuchuses.
I'm looking real bad.
Go ahead.
Ah.
I will give you back the initiative.
All right, Fantine, you wanted to take a shot, right?
I did.
The
I
one that
did
had
wanna
been
take a
wounded
shot.
earlier is pretty banged up.
This one?
The one at the top.
Or
There.
how do I... One at the top? Okay. I will shoot at
This one.
them. Is shooting at them gonna do any weird attack of opportunity weirdness?
Well, given Ruby's superb role earlier, I will say that as you watch Ruby, Fantine draw her bow and take aim, you remember something about the fact that they have a tendency to explode when they are damaged.
Let's shoot the further one then. Because if I shoot the one in front of me, it'll explode and hurt us. No, I don't have anything that can push. Do I?
Everyone's got an advantage from Andrew. Thank you so much, Andrew.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything cool. Okay. Then yeah, I'll go ahead and take a shot at that one.
Go for it. The target is 15.
Oops, that's damage. That's not what I want to roll. That's a 19.
With fear or hope?
With hope.
With hope, right. You take a hope point.
With hope.
Give me some damage.
Yeah. Mark that before I forget. Damage.
Who wants to go next?
11.
11 damage. As you strike it again right in the eye, it sort of folds in on itself and you see it shaking and shaking. You see cracks start to appear and pieces of it start to fall off. And then suddenly it explodes in a fairly wide area around it. There's just this discharge of fire and electricity that sort of roils out from it. It damages that stone bridge quite a bit, actually. It cracks and parts of it kind of fall off and it looks a little bit dangerous now.
Is Ruby okay?
But yeah, Ruby's going to be okay. It's just on the edge of it, Ruby. You managed to just kind of back away from it. You feel the heat of it on your face, but you are fine. It doesn't reach you.
Tostada.
Who would like to go?
I knew Enrique would like to toss this crap off the edge.
Okay.
See.
It'll be a strength test.
It would be a...
Target is 15.
Yeah. I do the strength.
Anything you can or want to use to help you out?
Nah. I got these. Oh yeah, baby. That's double 8s with a 6.
Nice.
Nah. Enrique goes to the ball. He goes, I am so sick and tired of this shit. And he grabs it and tosses it over the edge as he goes, sayonara, biatch.
And as this thing goes flying, you see go, its jets kind of trying, and slowly it disappears, and you watch it disappear slowly as it's trying to come back up. It shoots its beam of laser that just narrowly misses you. The jets fire, and then at some point it looks like it's going to come back up a little bit. And then slowly it disappears, and then it disappears into the fog, and then you wait, and then eventually you hear a, kind of like in Bugs Bunny after, like when the coyote is all you
Oh. He goes to Roderick. I've been practicing my trash talk. How was that?
This is really good. It's really good. It still needs some work, but it's definitely better than when you called that one person a frihole. I don't understand why you said that then.
It was a bean. He was a bean. He was little. He was beneath me.
Excuse me?
Oh, that's no offense. No. Oh, look, Ruby.
So the two suppressors have disappeared. fallen off the face of the planet and exploded. Some of you are wounded, perhaps. What do you do? The echo from the explosion still kind of reverberates a little bit in this canyon for a little while, and you can see scorch marks on the ground where these things kind of barreled through and used their jets to move around. But you are catching your breath now, and silence returns to the area.
So Ruby will just take a couple steps over to the group and kind of shaking the shock out of her hand. She pulls out the rapier, holds the mandolin against kind of a hip, and then uses one of the, rapiers have Keon's crossguards, uses the crossguard like it's a pick, and plays a relaxing song of the sort that she would play for the group during the war when they were resting at night. And everyone gets to heal 1 hit point.
Yay! Oh,
That is so helpful.
Well, that's one way of scraping off the rust, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think that was a joke.
Oh, okay, because it's just the. That's good.
I got that one. I know that reference.
I should have. I don't know. Been more attentive. I'll do better next time.
No, dearie.
You killed one of them. What are you talking about? You did such a good job. You're really good with that bow. You were all like, "Not in my house, biatch."
And then looks at like Enrique.
See, that's how you say that. You did good.
Fighting alongside you was very familiar. Shall we move forward?
You did good, señorita.
Lead on.
You lead the
Oh,
rest
I
of
have
the
a health potion. Does anyone want that? By the way.
My knees.
Yes.
It heals 1d4 hit points. I will give that to you if you. I think that she'll offer it up, and if Butter wants it, then definitely we'll let him have it.
Before the lovely melody, Broderick had 1 hit point left.
Oh,
so like,
please take the thing.
It'd be
Oh,
so
yes.
great. I just
well, do you roll or I roll it? Because I don't care. What do we do?
You would, I think.
Heard.
It as like the group walks off in the distance, I feel like Enrique has been practicing his jokes, but his jokes aren't really good. So like you hear as like they continue to walk off, oh look, I'll tell you guys another joke, okay? What do you call the nacho cheese that isn't yours?
you want to try that again?
What? I said, what do you call the nacho cheese that isn't yours?
It's nacho cheese.
You see, you get it.
And as you laugh at this horrible joke, and round the corner of the one of the last peaks that you were climbing, you see below you a sight that cuts the laughter short. The small town of Cogwheel is difficult to see because of all the smoke. The buildings on the outer edges, many of them have been destroyed. The wall has been shattered. You see everywhere Clanks helping other Clanks, carrying those that have been wounded. There seems to have been some sort of attack on this place. Smoke, columns of black, oily smoke rise up into the sky. You can hear almost from here the cries of pain. People calling out the names of loved ones that they've lost or are missing. All of this plays out below you as you crest that mountain, and you can see that there is a bit of a path that goes down towards where Cogwheel is, and then the path bifurcates a little and goes off into another direction towards where the Soul Ride is. But as you approach it, you can definitely tell that there's been an attack, and that a good chunk of the city has been hit pretty hard by whatever it is that came here. You can still see fires burning. You can still hear, as I was saying, people screaming, calling out names of people, trying to help others. You see a few, not a lot. It's not like there was a huge devastation, but you see a few dead Clanks here and there. Their bodies twisted, partially melted, in this weird sort of like grotesque, almost like marionettes with their strings having been cut. They're just like in strange positions and twisted around themselves. And you all will take one stress from seeing this. What do you do?
If it's too major of a thing, let me know, but I think FANTINE will like maybe go to the closest thing that she could see possibly she could help, like maybe helping put out the remains of a fire, or helping somebody like wrap something up, or like reattach an arm. I think, yeah, like whatever she sees that's closest that she can do to help, I think she'll rush and do that.
You rush forward, all of you. You easily find ways to make yourselves useful, as the attack, it clearly came from one direction. A force busted through the wall. It looks like they used fire. A lot of it's melted. The metal that makes up the walls and some of the buildings is melted. The stone is melted and cracked. Good night, Respawn. You find easily ways to help, either helping some of the wounded, helping put out some of the fires, things of that nature. Eventually, after a little while that you've been amongst these people helping, you hear a voice that you recognize, FANTINE, calling out your name, and you turn to see the leader of Cogwheel Town, a Clank named Echo, marching towards you. She is using a what appears to be a piece of some sort of structure as a bit of a walking stick to help herself, as part of her legs seem to have been damaged in the attack and the fire. FANTINE, is that you?
Echo, I'm sorry that I ran off.
Well, it wouldn't have made a
helped.
difference, not to belittle your skill with your bow, but this attack was too furious and too overwhelming. I'm just glad to see you're safe, child. Who is this you have with you?
Heroes.
She looks
sort
you
of like
over.
look back at them.
Well, it's unfortunate that the heroes arrive a little too late. Still, there's enough to do if you are willing to help. Why were you? Why did you come here? Why did you get these people? Who are you?
And I think that for once she'll kind of back off and look at them, kind of like, do you want to tell them? Because I think now she's had a bit of insight to like the pain that they've had to endure, And, upon meeting them, she's like, I don't know how many people they want to bring this up around. So I think she'll kind of look back at them as you tell them what you want.
Hello, señor. Mi nombre es Enrique. We're just here to help. We are nothing but adventurers looking to help this town that's been devastated by so much.
And we are, fortunately or unfortunately, quite familiar with the workings of the Grey Architect.
Well, then your help will be most appreciated, is not something that we have much experience with, being the subject of such an attack. It is, in fact, not something we've had to endure in a very long time. The ones who attacked us were clanks like us, but mindless. Mere automatons. They kept repeating what is the point of choice if choice leads only to failure? In this strange voice that was emanating from inside of them, it didn't make much sense. They wielded hammers that spat fire, and they simply destroyed things for a while, and then all stopped all at once and turned and left. All the while repeating, what is the point of free will? What is the point of choice if it only leads to death and pain? All in the same voice altogether. It was quite chilling. You're heroes, you say?
Adventurers.
Perhaps you would have the courage then to travel to the Soul Right and perhaps see exactly what it is that the Grey Architect is doing. I don't think we could stand another attack like this. We don't really have the means to protect ourselves or defend ourselves. But if you're heroes, as FANTINE says, perhaps you would have the courage to do something.
Enrique turns to his friends. Ready to take him up arms one more time, mi amigos?
Nimbus would have us do no less.
For Nimbus.
Aye.
Echo says,
And
FANTINE, you was sorry, go ahead.
I was going to turn to FANTINE.
Right.
And amiga, señorita, I cannot ask this of you, but you came to ask for help. That symbol on your chest, the way you held your ground earlier, it's wonderful. It's beautiful. It reminded me of him. I cannot ask you to come with us, but it would be
You
my honor.
cannot stop me.
FANTINE, you should think carefully about this. These kinds of
There is time
conflicts,
for
being a
thinking.
hero, it's not a laughing matter. It's not something that you can just wander into willy-nilly. It is, there are people's lives at stake, your life, the life of your companions. It's not something
That
you
is
can
exactly. That's why I must go.
She reaches into a bag. At her hip, she pulls out this little medallion. This will get you into the soul right. She hands it over to you. It is a key of sorts. Do be careful, child. These 3 are experienced heroes. You, I'm afraid, are not quite as experienced, and I would hate for you to get injured or worse.
I have these 3 and the knowledge of so many before me. If I were to fall, may my knowledge of them continue on, and others, as they have in me.
Very well.
But I won't make it easy for anyone.
Yeah.
She
Now's
comes
not the
over.
time, Broderick.
She comes over and puts a hand on your shoulder. You do us proud, Fantine. And go forth. And come back.
She'll sort of like gesture with the key and look to the others. Onward?
Lead the way.
You climb up into the city, into the towards the Soul Right. As you climb up towards it, you see a rampart. You see 3 giant towers from which molten metal constantly drips down into this pool. There is this other structure that is built near it that resembles some kind of temple, perhaps. There are statues of Clank heroes adorning it. You see, as you walk up close, a number of Clanks, but they are different than the others. At first you think perhaps they might attack you or stop you, but they don't. And that picture is really badly placed. That's what happens when you don't have the time to double check everything. Here you go. Well,
Ah, there it is.
Hey. Looks like he's rocking hard.
Right? Yeah.
these Clanks are all exactly the same. They are all identical. They seem to have molten lava inside of them, and you can, in some parts of their body, you can see it roiling inside, like in their face and in the joints. This kind of molten metal that's moving inside of them. They all have these big pick hammers. Most of them are just standing there doing nothing. Some are at work, repairing, fixing the Soul Right, things of that nature. At first you approach them cautiously, but then you realize they don't pay attention to you at all. They're all kind of mindlessly doing what they're doing, either working or standing there. Not a single one of them seems to pay you attention. You walk deeper into the building itself. The main area is kind of like this foundry workspace. You see huge machinery with hooks and pincers and whatnot. You see parts of Clanks that were being fashioned. You can see that they are making more Clanks like them. There is basically this factory of these mindless automatons being built. You can tell that they've taken bits and pieces from the town. Like, you can see parts of the ramparts, you can see other bits like that are also being melted and whatnot. As you walk through the cavernous halls of this place, you feel this sort of emptiness, this place which, by all expectations you might have, should have been a place of some level of spirituality, some level of life, as this is the birthplace of the Clanks. This is where the Clanks are made. This is where they celebrate their funeral rites, but also the births. This is where they transfer parts of themselves and their knowledge to the other generations. This should be a place of sanctity, but it is this hollow, mechanical, empty, cold place that seems to serve no purpose but for the mindless construction of these automatons. As you walk deeper in, you start getting a sense that you are being watched. You see some of the suppressors that you saw out in the mountains earlier. You see some of them floating up in the air, but they don't seem to interfere. They're watching you, these big, silent, giant eyes in the sky, just watching you as you walk through this giant cavernous hall, your footsteps echoing through the entire place. As you near what would be the center of this sort of temple area, you see a throne has been built. Behind it is this fountain of molten metal, the big orange-black goops rising up and then dropping and falling and rising up again, falling and dropping. In front of them, this throne has been built, and as you approach, you realize that it has been built of clank parts, all melted and soldered together until they form this strange throne, this seat. As you step forward and step closer to this throne, you hear a voice echoing throughout the hall. Tell me this. Why give me free will if it was only the will to choose my death? I was afraid. I knew fear. And in those last moments, I regretted it. I regretted choosing to sacrifice myself. Oh, I wish I did not have free will. I wish my course was set for me. It is, after all, better to serve in unknowing bliss than to reign over my own demise. And as those last few words echo throughout the room, you see gliding down on molten wings from somewhere up above and alighting just in front of the throne. Its wings fold in behind it. And it sits down. Faces I recognize from so long ago. Those for whom I gave my life my biggest regret. Tell me, why would I have been cursed with such an ability? To choose to give my own life. To give it for friends who did nothing worthwhile with what I bought with my own existence.
Who gets to say what's worthwhile, though? Is joy and laughter in repose not worth? Is song and salutation, is exploration and reminiscence, are all of those worthless? If I spread joy to others because I lived, and that joy bolsters them, is that worthless?
It is if you have the ability to do so much more. But you choose to do just the minimal amount. If you choose to do what comes easily. If you ask me, was it worth to give my life for songs, for a bit of laughter? I would be hard-pressed to say that it was. While people suffer, while they live in fear and cower, feel pain, what are a few songs compared to the suffering of those under the rule of a corrupt emperor living in a war zone? Songs? You choose songs?
That's everything. This isn't... Nothing about this is easy. You're right. Living in constant fear and danger of what's next and under any tyrant or any oppression. A song's worth any weight in gold. It's hope. It's an idea that it will get better.
Does it?
It does.
And kind of just like gestures to everybody.
We could have scattered to the winds. We could have been alone. But we didn't. For the hope that everything will get better. And look!
And then pushes Fatine up.
And look! This is what hope can do. In the face of everything. She went to find an answer.
It's kind of like gestures at the symbol.
That's what you gave. You gave her the opportunity to be better.
He gets up, his long molten wings curling up on his back. He approaches. As he comes close to you, Fantine, you feel the heat emanating from his body. It's like the fires of hell themselves. Just all this molten metal, all this rage, all this anger inside of him, boiling, almost threatening to come out of him, almost threatening to rip his metal skin apart and come spilling out on top of you and burning you all away. He stands in front of you, looks down at your chest. You remember Ruby, Enrique, and Broderick. You remember that moment when you'd been surrounded by the breath stealers of the Silent Dominion. Your voices had been taken away from you. There was no sound. You were done for. You remember in that moment Nimbus taking his hammer and beginning to bang on his shield, the shield that was emblazoned with that symbol of his, and banging on it, and you couldn't hear anything, and he was banging on it, and you could not hear anything, and then, almost as if the sound was coming from far away or underwater, you started hearing it, a vibration at first, not just sound, but a vibration. And then it built, and it built, and it built, until the sound enveloped all of you, and the creatures of the Silent Dominion began to fall apart, to explode, and still he was banging on his shield, and the two generals, Murmur and Whisper, when they saw this, they saw him standing there as the lot of you were picking yourselves up, trying to find your courage and your strength again, hearing this echo, this vibration, this sound coming from him banging on his shield. They targeted Nimbus. They threw everything they had at him. They ripped him apart. But in that moment, Ruby found her voice and began singing. And soon, so too did Broderick. And with Skellis there, and with Enrique, and with the rest of your group, emboldened now by this song that was emanating and cutting through that silence that had been so oppressive a moment before, in tune with that banging on the shield, you struck back. By the time you were done, by the time you had killed the two generals which set the Silent Dominion down on its last leg, the banging had stopped. And all you could hear was wind chimes, and then birds, and then the wind whispering, and then music from somewhere. He reaches out a hand, comes close to your chest, doesn't touch you, but comes close. You feel the heat. The heat is so much that the paint and the metal on your chest start to bubble, almost like they're gonna melt. He looks at you and he says, "This mark is a burden, child. It is a burden because as long as you wear it, you will think you need to live up to it. But what you need to know is that in that last moment, I was afraid, and I regretted making that decision.
And I think she'll sort of start shaking her head. And then after a second of just feeling this heat in her chest, building and building and building, she'll take a step back and knock her bow. And then aim. No. I don't mean to tell you what to think of your life, but you're wrong. This is a gift. You beat this symbol, and song began. and lives were saved so there could be more song and more joy and more hope. We are all afraid. And I'm sorry. I cannot say if it's fair or not. But this will never be too heavy for me. And if it ever is, I need to be stronger.
Looks over his shoulder at the other three. What do you have to say about this? Will you let this child shoulder this burden for a lot of you heroes?
Actually, I think at that she'll kind of turn her back on Nimbus and whirl the bow around to them and say, "It's not your choice."
Ruby will draw and flourish the blade, not at Fantine or Nimbus, but just ready, the music settling into a held chord hum. It is your choice, but you will not be alone. Nimbus, if you have fallen into despair, I will weep over that. You resent your choice and take choice from others, and that I will not tolerate.
Plus, it'll never be too heavy. Because we'll help carry it.
Enrique will not speak a word, but gesturally nod his head towards Fantine and stand by her side, sword drawn, pointed toward the ground, ready.
He turns, walks back a little bit, faces you all. His hammer is in his hand. You can see it pouring molten metal out of its head. He reaches down and he draws a line in front of him between you and him. And then he looks up and says, "We all make choices. Now let's see who can live with them." And his wings flare up and you feel the heat rise from underneath him. And that, my friends, is where we will end.
Oh no, come on! Oh no, come on! Come on!
Classic Bleakseason.
You've been bleaked.
You've been bleaked.
Everybody okay?
No!
Yes. Oh no, but yes.
I am
night,
devastated. Parentheses, positive.
Pause.
Let's see.
Thank you so much. You were all so wonderful. It was so much fun to get to play with you all, and to play out the system. And it was funny because you were all like, "Is this? Are we going too wacky? Is it too funny? Should we pull it back?" And I was like, "No, it's all right. Keep going." I knew it was coming down the pipe. I was like, at some point you're gonna take that turn on the mountain, and then the day the laughter stopped.
No.
Is everybody good? All right.
Yes.
You
All
are
good.
so good, all of you. My friends, we are a little bit over time, but that's all right because, we play games and we have fun playing games. Let me get the spooky angel music out of the way. Let's go around, my friends, and tell these lovely people, and I'll put on some nicer music here just to carry us out on a little more hopeful tune. Let's go around again and tell these fine people who you are, what you got going on, where they can see you next. And we will go around this time, and we will go backwards. We will start with Mike Underwood. And Mike, I would like to say thank you very much. It's not often that I get to play with someone who created some of the stuff that fires up my imagination, and that I just have the utmost respect for people who do what you do. I had this weird year where I got to play in a game with Ed Greenwood earlier a couple of months ago. So that too, like when I started playing D&D, was when I started playing role-playing games, like all the books had Ed Greenwood's name on it. I was like, oh my God. And now to get to play with you, who would like kind of a new generation of people creating and writing these games that have been such a part of my life is really a great pleasure. So thank you for reaching out and for offering to come play with us, and I hope you had a good time. And thank you. That's all I want to say with that. So please go ahead and tell us what's what and where is where and when is when.
Well, thank you so much, Bleak, to you and to Miko for having me on, and thank you to my amazing fellow players. One of the things I love the most about Daggerheart is that it provides tools with the hope that players can kind of create strong connections between characters quickly, and that there's enough rules to kind of be able to go heavy and go hard on stuff, and kind of take big actions and big swings to tell those kinds of emotional stories that I feel like we did here. So it is really heartening to see people bring the game to life, because I and all the other designers, we spend a lot of time, we do a lot of testing, but the real proof is in the folks who are playtesting kind of outside of the Darrington Press laboratory, and to be able to do that here, and to the many, many, many people who have been doing the playtest since we started in March. It's really amazing. So again, I am Mike Underwood. I'm an author, actual play producer, and game designer. I'm currently working on Daggerheart, which is an open beta. If you thought this was cool, you can download free materials for the latest playtest at www.daggerheart.com, on Demiplane, or on DriveThruRPG. We have 2 adventures that are published that you can try out, and there's a bunch of materials to help you be able to tell your own Daggerheart story. Other stuff you can see from me, I am on Twitter and Blue Sky and Threads and Instagram at Mike R. Underwood. The R is just the letter R. And I sometimes do like video review and analysis of TTRPGs over on YouTube at youtube.com/at Mike Underwood. I've been your Demon Bard. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Mike. Who would you like to kick it to?
I will popcorn over to Ian.
Oh, awesome. Hey, everybody. Another awesome time here. And it's not going to repeat everything that's been said. It's already out there, but it was just awesome to play with everybody. It was my first time playing with everyone here. So that was awesome. I loved it. And of course, Bleak, another amazing story in the books, man. Thank you for invited me out. But hey, you guys, I'm Ian, or YaBoiBig on all social media. Of course, you can see me here on the Folk&Myth channel on Wednesdays playing the Asteric game. And then, of course, whenever they decide to invite me back to play any other things, my line is always open to the wonderful folks here, and I appreciate them so much. You can find me mostly on Twitter, but again, like I said, YaBoiBig on all social media. Come see what I'm doing. And as I always say, if you don't like my face, but you don't mind hearing my voice, whichever one I decide to do, you can check me out and the folks over on the Fan Game Podcast on all of your preferred podcast streaming platforms. So,
Want to drop a hint about July?
yeah, July's going to be real crazy. So, I mean, with all of this, speaking about the Fang Gang, right? With all of this sharp, pointy tooth and all this kindred, we kind of really need to see what's on the other side of the fence. And so we'll go back to Indiana and maybe have a time or two with a pack. What do you think? You cool with that, Bleak?
Couple werewolves? Yeah, you know me.
A little, yeah, you know, a little bit of werewolf action.
What could they be doing in Gary, Indiana? Having some barbecue?
I mean, I heard it's the best out there.
Hey, Gary's barbecue in Gary, Indiana, man, Memphis style.
It's crazy. And I mean, I think the biggest and craziest thing about that story, although in how it's going to come out and the wonderful people that are playing, is that it's going to be somebody's first time on stream telling a story.
It's going to be awesome.
That's enough.
Oh, don't worry. The chickens, there's like a whole thing with the chickens.
Oh yeah, the chickens.
I'm on top of the chickens. Thanks so much, Ian. It's always a great pleasure to play with you. Thank you for agreeing to come back out here and play with us. Who would you like to popcorn it to?
Let's pop it on over to Calamity.
Oh, heck, hello. I'm Calamity. You can find me as Hey Calamity with 3 Y's at the end on all the things. I do performance, I do production, and I do dramaturgy for actual play. I also started helping out on Twisted Tales? Fates. I knew it. As soon as I said it, I'm like, that's not right. Twisted Fates. Your girl deal with ADHD today, extra hard. But I recently started helping out at Twisted Fates, and I also run Telltale Hearts, which is a group that does a lot of different things, from zines to newsletters to productions to charity events, to celebrate and showcase diversity in the tabletop space. And then I also stream. If you want to find me here, that's Hey Calamity with 2 Y's at the end only. And I play all kinds of different games, mostly story-based games, because stories are what make my heart beat. So that's me. That's what I do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And this was one of those instances where I just kind of randomly reached out to someone whose work I enjoyed. And so thank you for, not running away screaming after the chickens and being, yeah, go play on your channel. Very nice. So it was kind of a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much, Calamity.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Nice. Last but not least, since there are no more popcorns left to popcorn over.
What happened to the chickens?
See, I'm telling you, there's this whole story now, this whole vendetta of the chickens.
We need to know what happened to the chickens.
Well, we'll have to play.
Jeb said that he saw them. I don't know what happened after that.
That's what I need to know.
We'll have to play another game just to find out what happened to the chickens.
We need to know. All right, we need to know. My name is Northwolf911. I am one of the producers of Twisted Fates, which is fantastic. I'm super excited to have now a co-producer, Calamity, helping out with telling amazing stories over there. We are currently telling 2 stories right now, one of The Walking Dead and the other one is Candela Obscura. The Walking Dead is currently coming to an end of its first season here in the next couple of episodes, and we are continuing our first chapter of Candela's series, or season I should say. We have 3 more chapters to go, so we got a lot of story to tell, which I'm really excited about. We do this every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm also playing on a bunch of other games throughout I'm a very busy person the next couple months. I will be playing a vampire for my first Vampire the Masquerade, which I'm excited about. I will be also playing in a very large production called Castleton that's starting actually in the next day or so. I am a demigod over there of contracts, and I will be very wordsmithy. I will also be a part of some other actual plays. I am a part of a Daggerheart campaign coming very soon, and also another Daggerheart campaign that I'm currently on every other Tuesday with our amazing DM over here. He is playing another Clank over there. I'm playing a druid, which is a completely different class from here. I am like I said, I'm just a really busy person. You can find us over on YouTube and on all of the locations where you can download your podcasts over on Twisted Fates. We will be hosting some new games here soon, which I believe we can say it now that Daggerheart will be also in the future on Twisted Fates. When exactly we don't have a date yet, but that will happen. So very exciting things and very exciting time, which is really awesome. And I will also be at Gen Con, hopefully hosting a panel for world building over there. So I'm excited for that. I will be there hopefully Sunday. I don't have a time yet because we're still trying to get that narrowed down. But last but not least, the most important thing is that next month in June, or actually this month in June, because it is officially June.
Now,
it is the June 1st. I am hosting a charity event for PTSD awareness. We're raising funds for the Wounded Warrior Project and the Operation Tabletop, which helps raise awareness for our fellow military members, not only here but also abroad. For those members that need help with PTSD, I myself, along with 20 other creators, are going to be raising money, and I believe also Folk&Myth will be hosting a show here on the 11th. Am I correct on that?
Yep,
11th?
the 11th we'll be having a Dragonbane game over here that I'll be jamming with a bunch of great people, again to help raise some funds for this worthwhile charity.
Yes. So, and if you want to be a part of that amazing, charity event that we're hosting, please feel free to reach out. We are always looking for more creators and other ways for people to help raise money and awareness for this charity organization that's going to happen the entire month. So if you want to play, or if you want to host a game, or you just want to help out because you're awesome and amazing and want to do all the back end administration stuff that I'm really bad at, you can more than help. More than welcome to help. But yes, that is, like I said, I have a lot going on right now. So, lot getting in.
Many chickens.
Lots of chickens, but I need to know what happened to those chickens.
Well, tune in next time. Thank you so much, North and everybody else. It was fantastic having you here. I'm very happy and very honored to have gone to share the space with you. So thank you all very much for being here. That is it for us. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we will see you next time. Thank you. Ciao.